Hello everybody, my name is Matt and welcome to J&M Simulations. First of all, as you guys can tell by the title, today is going to be a comparison between the Captain Sim and PMDG 777, both of which are good aircraft. But obviously, you know, we all know there's one clear victor. But for all those people out there who were like me in the beginning and did not know the difference between the two and didn't really see the difference between the two, today I'm going to try and bring that to you guys so that you can really make an educated decision whether or not you will buy one or the other. And basically that's what I'm trying to do. So what we'll be doing is we're going to be you'll be able to see, I will show footage of either aircraft, and then you will be able to see the same type of footage just with the other aircraft, just to kind of be able to show the contrast a little bit easier. Yes, that's pretty much all for like my introduction. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, welcome. This is kind of a new thing I'm going to try and do, which is comparisons between aircrafts. I know there's a bunch of different aircraft out there that you know, stuff like the Captain Sim Level D 767. I fly in the PMDG 737 NGX, so I'm going to be trying to do a lot more of that. You know, that sort of comparison between two aircraft, and I'm excited for you guys to see more of this. So first we're going to be coming into the cockpit of the Captain Sim 777. As you can see right now, this is the cockpit. The resolution of the cockpit is actually quite high. As you can see, it's nice. Yes, it is not bad at all. But it is there is something about it. It seems like it's crisp, and the reason it's crisp is it's because it's kind of hiding for some of the flaws that there are inside of this aircraft. You know, each aircraft has flaws, and that's fine. We understand that. No big deal. But here I'm going to come into this, which is sort of the same thing. I don't know what they call it actually. Maybe it's the IFS, the electronic. Like it's basically I don't know what the technical name for it, but it's just it's a panel which you can switch displays, which give you different information about the flight. As you can see, these are all switching them. Pretty much all the same. Between, you know, they all have full functionality, just like the PMDG 777. There is one thing that they don't have. They don't have checklists that are actually interactable or what's the word? You cannot interact with these. They're just there. So I guess you kind of have it there, but that's just before. First of all, that's just before start, and then there's no way to move it. Then there's this, and then there's the back to nav. Something that's actually really cool about this one does actually have weather. So we come over to plan, or we just set this over to nav. I don't know why it's a circle like that. There. If we turn on weather, well, as soon as we get up into the clouds, and if there was clouds here, I could turn them on for you. You'll be able to see that there is actually weather displayed on this. Unlike the PMDG, there's no weather on the PMDG, not that I've been able to get. I know there's terrain on there, and there's terrain on both of them, but I haven't really been able to get anywhere with the PMDG's version. Looking at the cockpit, just to show you right back to back the two aircraft, I wanted to do it like this rather than one part of CS, or Captain Sim, sorry, and one part of PMDG. I felt like it was better if we spaced them out in ways that you could see them right up against each other. I don't know why the engines are spooling right now. That would make no sense. That's weird how that happened. Anyway, we'll just ignore that and call it a bug. You know, everybody who's flown PMDG knows that there's a system initiation thing, which sometimes goes screwy if you do stuff in that time period. But yeah, we're just gonna start off with this cockpit. As you can see, detail is quite incredible. As you can see, there is weather on this. I was wrong. I had to do my research, and I ended up I was wrong. But that's beside the point. Just gonna go through like the aircraft. Start the APU here. By the time I'm done with this, it'll probably be on. But probably while we're doing this, it probably will be off, remaining off for the rest of the time. Everything is a lot more detailed in 3D, as you can see. Even from turning dials and clicking buttons, everything just looks a lot more, realistic. All these knobs, there's glare on these knobs. They're all 3D, like we said before. You can see the depth of these knobs. You can see that these actually exist in time and how the light is hitting it and reflecting off of it, and all these things. It's a very nice cockpit. You see this is casting a shadow on there. All these dials have certain positions. We can adjust the trim. And the trim, you set it one way and it'll start going down. If you set the other way, it'll start going up. Everything you can hit. All fuel control valves. Speed brake comes up. As you can see, when the speed brake comes up, and even the throttle, because they're set in these little grooves of like plastic. See how the plastic comes up and goes down based on where the throttle is. Very, very cool, dynamic. Put this up for a second. That flaps panel, or the flaps selection panel, it's very cool, very nicely detailed. And there's the APU on. Everything is just highly detailed. Much more so than the Captain Sim. Not because the Captain Sim is inferior, but just because it just is. It's just a lot nicer in my opinion. Like I said, you can have your own opinion. That's fine, and I don't judge you for that. And that's all good. And you probably have just as valid opinion as mine. But I just think that the PMDG is a lot nicer of an aircraft from the cockpit and not from the cockpit in both respects. They have full panels here. We have all them like we did in the other one. But we also have checklists that work, which you guys should already know. There's a normal checklist, and then there's the non-normal checklist for stuff like engine failure. If the CSS had it, then we might have been able to say, when our engine just shut off, maybe we could have been able to be like, what happens? We have a left engine failure, and boom, here we go. So basically, this is what you work with this aircraft. It's a very extremely highly detailed aircraft. I think it's amazing and everything, and I love it. And I've been flying it a lot, VAT sim, everything. It's a lot of fun to fly, and it's really realistic. But now that we're done with the cockpit introduction, I'm going to let you guys go off and look at the Captain Sim FMC, and then come back to me. So now that we saw how the PMDG 777 cockpit looks compared to this, we're going to go into the FMCs. The FMC on this aircraft is rather minimal. It's not really big. I'm trying to remember the shortcut for it. I don't have any. Yeah, there it is. Shift 7. It's minimal. It's not. It's very. It's functional. I don't mean to say it's non-functional. It's a functional FMC, but it's minimal. It's not going to be what you're going to be looking for as far as functionality. It has LNAV, VNAV, all the stuff that you're looking for, but then if we come back in the menu, it doesn't have the how am I trying to say this, the kind of detail that the FMCs of PMDG has, such as our customization abilities, stuff like that we just really can't get to be able to do in this aircraft. Like I said, there's obviously identification, position, performance, thrust limit, takeoff approach is full, route page is full, departure arrival, or alternate, that's not actually a thing. There's obviously VNAV, climb, cruise, descent, all these things. It has it, and it is much more advanced than you would find entry-level aircraft, but it's still not where you would want it to be, and it's not where the PMDG is, where you will see in a second. I'm not gonna go through these really. I'm not gonna just the thing is I'm not gonna go through every single part of the FMC, because that would take a long time, and I'm just trying to keep this as like an entry level basic functionality of the plane. And we'll keep going with the PMDG aircraft. So now we're on the back onto the PMDG FMC. Basically, it is like the other one until you get out of this part of the FMC, the actual programming part of the FMC. This is all the same, except you have alternates in this one. Other things like FMC communication, position reports. This all working stuff. But then you come into the menu, and then you have the PMDG setup, which really sets the aircraft apart from everything else. Here we can set. First of all, we can set. Say we want to save this panel. We call it cold and dark. We can save this file, right? And then we can say execute, and this is where it will save it. Obviously, if I wanted to go cold and dark, this is obviously not cold and dark. But every time I can come into the aircraft, I can say, okay, I want you to load this panel state, right? Which is the one we just saved. I can have the startup state as the one we just did. There's options for everything. There's simulation. Because I live in the Americas, if I wanted to, here it's in aircraft, equipment, it might be in displays. Right, here. I don't use kilograms, I use pounds. So say I want everything to be in American units. I can come in here and change all that. I can come in here and change pretty much everything. Just a crazy amount of things. The displays, if I want them to be a certain color, I can come into here. I can go into options. I can go into simulation, or I could go into colors, sorry, and I could change the colors of the PFD. If I don't want the sky to be blue, I could change the sky to whatever color I want. If you want, it to be red, we could put red as 100. Sorry, turn that on. 100. I don't actually know how you do this. Oh, that's sorry, it was up too far. 10. Say you want it to be overpowering. I want it to be 300 red. Maybe you can only go up to like 230 or something. I don't know. As you can see, it'll change to. And I said, okay, that's good. I want that. And now it'll be pink. See, there's tons of things you could do with this aircraft, and there's things that I can't even begin to show you guys. It's just crazy. There's a lot that you can do with this thing. Come to sound, master volume, play an external view, devices, headphones, which are what I'm using. There's tons and tons and tons of things you can do to change the aircraft to what you want it to be. Okay, just anywhere like this is. It's just a crazy amount of detail. So that's pretty much the FMC part. So now that you know about both FMCs, I believe what I did next was outside view. So I'm going to do an outside view with the pushback as well. So now we're going to come out into the outside of the aircraft. Both aircraft are going to be in the Emirates livery today. Just so you can see, obviously we're at Dubai, so it makes sense. If we can move these things out of the way, that would be perfect. Actually, I'll just push it back, and you get to see it as we push back. Just to give a static view here, we'll switch over to the static form of spot view. So as you can see, the aircraft is nicely modeled out in the back. There's the APU door open, the exhaust. I don't know why it's like that. Nicely modeled. It's not bad. As you can see, there's the control surfaces. The tails look a little bit. The elevators look a little bit. I don't know. They kind of look a little bit, clunky, and geometrically it looks a little bit like plain. This aircraft does not have a pushback, as customized pushback like the PMDG 777. So that's a bummer. Very nice scenery here, actually. I don't know why there would be a random car on the road, but whatever. So basically, just gonna come zoom up nice and close to this aircraft. Like I said, good modeling. But the thing is that people, you have to understand we're going up against PMDG here. It's not that this aircraft is inferior, but the company just has, the PMDG has a lot more resources to create better aircraft because of their agreements with Boeing and such and such things. They're able to actually take the aircrafts and photograph them and get these really nice textures that are photorealistic. So like I said, just coming up close, nice and close. That gear bay door is nice. The gears are nice as well. Really, where I feel like we're lacking is like right under here in these fuel tanks. Basically, I actually don't know why I called them fuel tanks. Sorry, hydraulic. I believe those are hydraulic for the hydraulics for the flaps, if I'm not mistaken. I don't want to sound like an idiot here. Maybe they do have fuel in them as well. But the wings have fuel in them anyway, so I don't know why that would be. But anyway, the fans are really nicely modeled. If we can get a view where we can actually see the fans, that'd be great. Fans are really nicely modeled. Really nicely modeled there. The gears, like I said, are really nicely modeled. The fuselage is okay. It could be better. The wings, like I said, could be a lot better, and so could the engines. Nothing to complain though. You know, it still works. It's still a functioning aircraft. That'll be it for the outside of this aircraft. Then we're gonna move on to sound, like I did with the other one, which you will see in just a second. So now that you guys are back from the outside view of the Captain Sim version, we're going to do a pushback in this aircraft. Straight out pushback. Parking brake is off. Well, we already have set flaps 15. And we'll keep the aircraft out here. We'll go back into that lock spot view as we were before. And get nice and close. As you can see, you know, already, just the outside model by itself, if all this stuff, you know, in the way, it's a lot more shiny. So you can see it's really, you know, right there. You can see how this right here on this line, this is a lot more shiny, and the detail is just incredible. These lines are so crisp. The texture lines are so crisp. The lines of the aircraft are super crisp. They're super smooth. They're not you know, jagged edges. You know, now we look at the elevator. Nice smooth movement. Very nice. The belly of the aircraft, nice and reflective. Everything is very reflective in this aircraft. It's very based on the, you know, manipulation of light to create a nice looking aircraft. You see, just, you know, these angles of the aircraft just look so nice. Obviously there's a graphical glitch with the engines, as you can see, but you know, we can't really hold it against the aircraft. The aircraft has not been out for a while, and you know, something that I'm going to report. So, you know, there's some graphical glitch. You guys might want to check that out, because obviously they're not going to have a product which is, you know, having malfunctions. You know, this is all stuff that, you know, that happens in the developmental process, and that some you know, all developers have to deal with. As you can see, the tires are really nicely modeled. They're actually moving and stuff. There's the APU outlet on this version of the aircraft. It's on the top. But basically everything's just really nice. We're also going to go do the views at this point, which is what we did with the other aircraft, and we'll set the parking brake for them. This aircraft has double views for everything. If you have one view, you have the same view on the other side, which allows you to do variations of content with different sides. It allows me to take pictures of both sides, or videos of both sides rather, so we're not worrying about, you know, say there's a really good looking part on both sides of the approach. We want to feature both of them with the same view. We're going to have to, you know, have one side for each of those, and that's what this aircraft provides. And as you can see, there's a ton of views for this aircraft, and just a ton that there is to offer. You know, a ton to offer with the aircraft. And now that you've seen the views, it's going to go back over to the Captain Sim side, where you're going to see the sound of the Captain Sim, and then you're going to come back to me, and we'll do the sound for this aircraft. So as you can hear right now, the left engine of our 777 here is starting up. Sorry, I'm a little bit sick. I haven't actually been able to start this aircraft by myself, which I think it's very funny. I haven't been able to actually start the thing like by myself. Whether that's because of my experience, which I don't think it is, because I have a lot of experience with these aircraft. And see, like I said, those are flap hydraulic things. I have a lot of experience with these aircraft. I know how to start them, but I just can't get it started for some odd reason. I'm not able to get this aircraft started. But as I'm just getting this aircraft fixed and ready to go, I'm going to advance to full power so you can listen to the aircraft and just admire the aircraft and then we'll skip forward, show you the same thing with the PMDG 777 like we're doing for all this, and then go off flying and show you flight dynamics. You can see nice sounds here. Not bad by any means. It's a little bit bland. As soon as you get past about 80% N1, it sounds the same. The advancement of the throttle also sounds a little bit similar. But now that we are going, I'm also going to talk about views. So now that we've heard the sound, I want to go through the views of the aircraft, because views is actually a very important thing, especially when you're somebody like me that does videos. The views of an aircraft that can actually become a very important selling point. Obviously, you can set all these up in EasyDock, but if you don't have EasyDock, well, you know, and if they already come with the aircraft, then why not? Just to show you, these are pretty much all the views that come with the Captain Sim 777. It's one wing view, another wing view, belly view, outside view, another off-center view, another off-center view, and that, and then there's back to the wing. So there's no double-sided. There's no repeats for different sides, whereas in the PMDG 777 you'll get a wing view for each side, because say you want to get, you know, one side of the approach and you want to get the other side of the approach as well. You guys know what I'm saying. You know, we're not going to be able to say one part of the approach is nice and pretty stuff on the left outside, and another part there's nice pretty stuff on the right side of the aircraft. You're not going to be able to get to both parts, which is quite unfortunate. But something else that I'm noticing now, I haven't noticed this before in this aircraft because I've never actually flown it like long range. It has quite a bit of fuel in it right now, and it's actually really like clunky in the ground. We're only going ground speed of 8 knots with 50-something% N1, so it feels like it takes a lot to get going. Also, as you can see, if I set up to 49% N1, it'll stay around 30. It'll stay around 10. So if I keep decreasing, it'll stay around 10 under what I expect it to go. As you can see, I'm pulling it down, and it goes down with that bar rather than staying with what I want it to be. You can see there, watch, as I advance it to 71%, I'll stop here for you. It'll stay around 41%, which is very annoying actually, because then you put it up to 100, and it'll stay around, you know, 96%. And maybe it actually goes up when you're at full throttle, which is odd, but whatever, it's okay. You know, we're not gonna. It's not a major problem. But like I said, now we're gonna go back over to the views, and you're gonna be able to see the views of the PMDG 777, and then we'll come back and. So now we're going to be doing the sound for the PMDG 777. Very amazing sounds. I'm going to let them speak to you themselves. Just going to start the aircraft here, and you can also start this aircraft with both engines at the same time. I'm just going to let you sit right here and listen. Now the engines are started. I don't know how, but there's actually chocks, real chocks on the aircraft. We'll see what that's about. Ground connections. There is wheel chocks on the aircraft for some reason, but we're not being able to see that. And now I'm going to actually go outside and advance the aircraft auto to full, and you guys can be able to hear the sounds coming out of this aircraft. Keep forgetting about that. Let's shut that off. You can see both on the way up and on the way down, the sound of this aircraft is just amazing. I'm going to talk about it as we go taxi out to the runway, just like I did with the other aircraft. The sound of this aircraft is just beautiful. And as I was talking about before, the taxiing problem I had with the other aircraft, it's really non-apparent in this aircraft. I have same thing set up, and really there's no problem with the keeping of the keep going. There's not a lot of problems on the ground to maintain our ground speed. But yeah, as you can see, really the sound speaks for itself. On the way up and on the way down, it really just takes, it makes you just feel like you're actually there watching a 777 spool up. And I'm pretty much going to let you guys interpret the sound yourself. Now we're going to go right back to the Captain Sim 777, where you'll see me take it up and show you a little bit about its performance and whether it's realistic or not. And then we'll come back to finish it off with the PMDG 777 performance. Another thing I want to show you before you guys go over the Captain Sim is that feature of the aircraft where it tells you the runway. It's a crazy amazing feature, and I love it, and that's all. So go back to watch the Captain Sim for now. So now we're going to be talking about performance of the aircraft. There's a bunch of things that I want to bring up. Like we've already talked about, there's full functionality in the VNAV LNAV systems on both aircraft. But what I was talking about before, as you can see, there's some weather on the radar. We'll just go towards it so you can actually get a little bit of a closer view on this. We're actually at about it's about 12 to 15 degrees nose up attitude, going about 232 knots, gaining speed with a 3,400 rate of climb with 62% fuel. It's pretty crazy. Just to be honest, I'll just give you an outside view here. This aircraft is very heavy. Gross weight, we're carrying approximately 199,000 pounds of fuel alone, just fuel. So to believe that we'd be able to pull out this amazing performance, about 5,000 feet per minute with stabilized speed, is just idiotic to me, without full power. This is all without full power. If I put up full power here, we're at about a 17% or 17 degree nose up with a 5,000 foot per minute. Just keeping that speed. And now, not to say that it's unrealistic, because I've never flown this aircraft before, but I highly doubt with this amount of fuel it is this good at performance. And there, for some reason, as you could just see randomly, we lost an engine. I don't know why, and that's just like something that I just don't get about this plane. Like, sometimes that'll just happen. Whether it was me, might have done something wrong. You guys, should tell me if I did something wrong. I don't know if I did anything wrong because I don't really fly this aircraft a lot. I don't know, but if that just happens, or you take that with a grain of salt, and whether you want to keep going with this aircraft or not, because that just happened. I don't know. Like I said, whether I did something to induce that, or whether it just happened. As you can see, I can't get it started again. The N2 will not rise, and that's kind of where we're standing with this aircraft at the moment. Getting expose something. And I think there's thrust asymmetry compensation for this aircraft. Whether it works, I don't know. And there goes the other engine for no reason. Who knows why that just happened? Maybe because it saw the thrust asymmetric. It's called compensation. Maybe it took the compensation and said, "Oh, if one is off, let's turn the other one off." So, like I said, I don't know. Now we have our ram air turbine out there. For some reason, I guess giving us our power because we have no more engines. Like I said, I don't know why this happens. This just happens sometime, and I cannot get this aircraft pitch above a, 0 degree. I can't turn it left, can't turn it right, and I can't do anything with it besides adjust trim. Maybe if I turn off asymmetric thrust compensation, then that will stop. No, autopilot is not on. As you can see, autopilot is not on. I cannot move the controls of the aircraft besides the rudder. So this is what this is what you're getting. I don't know. Maybe I don't have any way. Maybe the hydraulics are all off. As you can see, they're faults. So we're not really working here as an aircraft. We're probably gonna stall it. So without further ado, I'd like to. As you can see, this is pretty much what you're gonna get with this aircraft. I don't mean to show this in a bad light, but I mean, like, come on, like what happened here to create this to happen? But anyway, that'll be all pretty much for the Captain Sim 777, because obviously I'm not going to be able to do anything with it at this point, and I don't really know, first of all, how to start it in time for us to show you anything else with it. So just going to give some cinematic shots from here of us pretty much going down to our death in this aircraft. I don't know why there's still, by the way, there's still sound from the engine for some reason, as if we could still hear the engines. Like, where's that sound coming from? Is that the ram air turbine? Is that what it is? Because I don't think that the engines make that sound with nothing. See, here's the ram air turbine. It's, yeah, I don't know. No idea, guys. So here, they're going to go over the PMDG 777 and finish up with that. I will see you on that aircraft. So I know I did not set any, I didn't set anything as far as altimeters and everything. It's not really necessary. I'm not actually flying. I'm not going to actually be landing, so it's not really necessary. But just as a, in the same situation, we're about 15 degrees nose up attitude, and we're really, we're maintaining speed, if not actually losing it, at about 3,000 feet per minute climb with the same amount of fuel. So you can see, it's actually, the other aircraft is quite a bit more powerful pound for pound, and it's a little bit more unrealistic. I know that this aircraft is a very powerful aircraft. But it's not really going to crank out, performance like that. This aircraft, is very responsive, very fun to fly. It feels like like a little, feels like an angel. It's an awesome aircraft, a lot of fun to fly. Its traffic system is impeccable. Use it on VATSIM all the time. Its weather is impeccable. Its VNAV system is impeccable. Its descents, its top of descents, its descent planning, everything is really, really nice on this aircraft. As you can see, there's also obviously a graphical glitch going on, which is fine, happens sometimes. Not going to blame the aircraft, like we talked about. This is a a new aircraft. If you not get it before, it came out really not too long ago, so we can't really get mad at it for problems that we encounter with it, because that just happens in aircraft development. That's pretty much going to be the end of the video here. I hope you enjoyed it. There's obviously a clear victor. There's the PMDG 777 is always going to have a special place in my heart. It's the best aircraft I've ever flown, and it will maintain that status. And there's obviously then there's the NGX, and so really it'll always as long as it maintains that, it will always be better than the Captain Sim, unless something ridiculous happens, as if they don't sell it anymore. Then obviously it won't be the favorite, but as long as they sell it, it's gonna stay my favorite. It's a lot of fun. I recommend this to anybody who wants to spend the money to buy it. It's a lot more money, but it's a lot more quality, and that's definitely the truth. And I would never lie to you guys about that. So basically, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a comment and a thumbs up if you enjoyed. If you want to see more videos like this of comparisons between two aircrafts, please let us know in the comments below. And have a good day.